Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Friday, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. I know there could be many things you could be doing, but you're here to see what I want to share with you. You know, I'm going to have to tell you something. Doing these videos can take a toll on a person, just doing it every single night, just day in and day out, just bringing content, just constantly looking at this stuff. And I'm happy it's Friday. So I can unplug just a little bit over the weekend. I'm going to do some yard work. I'm going to do some gardening. I'm going to go get my hands dirty in earth, So I'm going to go do some of that this weekend. Just to unplug and get away from all of it and just, you need to, right? You need to. Everyone needs some downtime every now and then. But, that doesn't mean I'm not going to still engage. It's kind of hard for me to get away from it because every single time I think that things are better or things are looking up and people are starting to realize that they've been duped or starting to realize that we can make a difference. And then something else happens. They do something else and they do these things on purpose because it is in them. They can't help themselves. This is what we're seeing on the planet today is exactly what the Bible referred to as far as people being turned over to a reprobate mind, God sending them a strong delusion where they think these evil things that they're doing, they're good. I mean, we're you and I are the generation we're seeing it happen right now. We're seeing it happen. We're seeing it unfold. I did a short video earlier, and this was just on Facebook. I did a short video earlier, and I was talking about, they have a different motive. So today the House decided to pass, in the House to codify contraceptives, right? As if that's a problem already. It's not even a problem. They have sinister motives, motives for doing this. There's two of them actually. And I mentioned it earlier in my video, and they said, this is what it is. They're saying that the Republicans, and they're calling the Republicans radical because the Republicans don't want the Democrats creating this machine taking lives. The Republicans are fighting against that. For the life of me, I can't understand why people on the planet don't want to give a chance to other people. But I know why they're doing it. I mean, I completely know why they're doing it because they're demonic. But what I don't understand is how is it they don't see it, right? But then I just mentioned because they've been turned to a reprobate mind. But me, because I see the evilness that they're doing, I can't see it, right? You get what I'm saying here. And they constantly doing it, and it's like there's no reaching them. I used to think that you could have conversation with people, these evil people, just have conversation with them, say, look, let's just have a conversation. But when they're so far gone, there's no reaching them. There's really no conversation with them because some people don't want to hear it. Some people deny the truth so much. Let me give you an example. So, I'm a human being. I'm an American, and I'm a male in the United States of America. And we do have the privileges to go see, to go to stores, to go to movies, to go to a restaurant. I can go get in my vehicle right now and just go find there's a store open somewhere, right? Because we have that luxury here. Just like I could go see a doctor. Well, I'm not going to, put the doctor's name or anything out there, but I actually talked to a doctor, and the doctor relayed to me that there's a shortage of doctors. And I was relaying this information to somebody else that's pretty close to me. And I was telling them part of the reason why we have a shortage of doctors. And we have a shortage of doctors, which many of you know. And I don't ever claim to be a doctor. And I never claimed they actually deleted one of my channels trying to say that I was putting out misleading medical advice. And I've never been to medical school. Never. And I never would put out anything. I've never told anyone I diagnosed anything. I have to put that disclaimer out there. But a lot of doctors today are not wanting to administer medical needs to a grown man that's coming into the doctor's office, and the grown man is wanting the doctor to treat him like he's a woman. And the doctor's like, I can't diagnose you properly if I'm going to diagnose you as a woman. I can't do it. It's not physically possible. The science doesn't follow it. But what they've done, if they've gotten people, they've got doctors to quit. Doctors won't even start because of it. Which brings me to another point about the contraceptive, right? I said this in a video earlier, talking about the two motives they have. And one of them is extremely sinister. One of them, they're just doing this to make it look like they're doing something. That's all it is. They want people to believe that they're doing something, like they're fighting for the small person or they're fighting for the woman, knowing that they're not fighting for the woman, because if they were, they would, these grown men acting like women, taking scholarships and taking jobs, et cetera, because they're dressing and acting like a woman, giving a man a Woman of the Year award. They're not fighting for women. This is a prime example of them actually lying about what they're doing. It's plain and simple. This is common sense. Reality check. Reality check. That's what this is. This is reality check. The reality of it all. They want us to believe and play along with a grown man acting like a woman. Well, some of us just said, no, I can't do it. And a lot of doctors are saying I can't do it because it goes against you know what? Back in the day, if you did that, you would get sued for malpractice. Seriously. Because you diagnosed them completely wrong. But now it's like upside down. Nancy Pelosi and the other Democrats decided to try to codify, they did codify contraceptives in the House. Now it's getting ready to go over to the Senate. But I want y'all to listen to what Nancy Pelosi says here, because the second sinister reason is because I truly believe, now I want to be wrong. And I said this earlier, and I'm constantly saying I want to be wrong. But listening to the way she's talking, and I'm like, why in the world would they do this? Because no Republicans are out there saying we're going to take away the box in the store, box of condoms in the store. No Republican is saying that. I haven't heard anybody say that. And if anybody actually said it, like I mentioned earlier, it would be the Catholic Church. Now, isn't she Catholic? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Leave me a comment. Isn't she Catholic? Isn't that what and she says she's all the way Catholic, right? Maybe I'm missing something here. But they're doing this because they want to create a pill. This is my personal opinion here. Like the day after pill. So what happens? What's to stop them from having a 3-month pill, or 6-week pill, or a 6-month pill, or a 90-month pill? I mean, I'm just asking the question here, because when you listen to them, if they create this pill, if they do create it, I'm not saying that they do, I'm not saying they have it. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Maybe some of y'all that know can answer it for me. What's to stop them from doing that? And then they can turn around and say, well, we codify it. But see, most of the time, contraception is supposed to be used in the beginning so you don't get pregnant, right? Right? That's my understanding of it. But see, these people are so evil, they're so demonic, that they'll take it to the next level. They do it with everything. That's the only reason why I'm, talking about it. And I guess me saying this could be something else too, because YouTube before, and I'm not putting out any medical advice. I'm just asking the question because I don't know. I'm truly just asking a legit question here. I don't know what they're going to do. But if you ask me, seeing the writing on the wall, that's exactly what they're going to do. Listen to this. And if you haven't already, please share this video. I need your support. You sharing the video helps me out tremendously. I can't tell you how much. It really does. Okay, here we go. Listen to this.
Let's be clear that punishing and controlling women for using birth control is just another plank in the Republican extreme agenda for America. But House Democrats are fighting back.
You hear this? I mean, she's extreme, right? Calling Republicans. Let me continue playing.
Our right to a Contraception Act enshrines into law the unequivocal statutory right to obtain and use contraception, and it protects against any extremist state laws that would seek to restrict that access.
You hear this? There's no states in the United States of America, not a single one, was trying to restrict it at all. None. So I got to thinking. Why would they be doing this? What would be their end game in them doing this? Because not a single state in the United States of America brought that up, was saying that was an issue. Not a single one. And I'm telling y'all, hear me now, believe me later on, these demonic evil people have sinister reasons on why they're doing this. And when it comes up, when it pops up, y'all going to forget it was Will Johnson that told you. Y'all going to say, all y'all going to be saying, here they are again. These people are evil. Y'all not going to even remember it. Now, is anybody else saying it? Or am I the only one bringing this up? Am I the only one making this point? I mean, I can't imagine that I am. That
way, even if the radical Republican supermajority on the Supreme Court succeeds in its mission to overturn Griswold.
I mean, come on.
No American can be denied the basic right to birth control, to contraception.
Really? No one, I don't think, like, again, there's no one out there trying to push it, trying to take their rights away from them using, going to the gas station and getting a box. Not a single state. I have yet to hear a single Republican, because if there were Republicans out there saying that we're going to stop them from doing that, they would show it all over the telly. They would say, see, this Republican, he doesn't even want you to have contraception. Seriously. They're not doing it. They have two sinister reasons. One, again, is to make it look like they're doing something for the people when they're not. And no one cares about this. Really, no one cares. That's the reason why they're doing it. And that's why 8 Republicans voted for it. But the rest, no one wants this. Now, let me change the subject here, because I could talk about that all night. I truly can. But, I mean, we need to move on. I played a clip last night, and this is with Jerry Nadler. With Jerry Nadler saying that, he's willing to take all of the guns, right? All the common guns. He straight up said it. He straight up said that he wanted to take all the common guns. It was a report that was on Laura Ingraham, and I replayed it there. And now we have a congresswoman that's an actual immigrant, right? Can't be president, but she can be a member of Congress, and she can voice her opinion. And she's an immigrant, not born in America, the way I understand it. I want y'all to listen to what she says here, because it's so important. You have people outside of the country that get what the Democrats are trying to do. They completely get it. They understand it. They see it. And they're trying to tell people here in America, do not fall for it. The Democrats are doing the same thing. And, I constantly say it. They're just like Hitler, just like Stalin, just like Mao Zedong. And y'all have heard other people mention it too. But listen to when basically a foreigner become American, become a congressperson. This is the type of congressperson that I love to have migrate to our country. And if they're going to be in politics, no issue. Like Ilhan Omar, no. Terrible. Rashida Tlaib, no. Terrible. But listen to this young lady. She's so spot on, and people need to wake up to it.
So we have to think what works, what doesn't work, because this bill is really about taking the rights from law-abiding citizens. And that is a problem that we have a big difference. So we have a lot of debates here about a different position, and we go on this series, and I'm not academic, okay? I'm not going to go, and I don't care what this law says. Laws are not for academics. We are the belief.
You hear this? I mean, listen. I mean, this is so powerful. I get goosebumps just listening to her. Share the video.
Of this rights of Second Amendment rights is American citizens don't believe. And if we don't believe, then we better tell us our children and grandchildren that they are not protected against foreign and domestic enemies and tyranny government. And they're not protected from bandits, and they're not going to be protected and guaranteed their life and safety protected. And as a woman, I truly believe is an ultimate equalizer, and only people like immigrants like me and women are going to be suppressed in this right, because they're the first one. I've had personal experience on that.
Come on. Drop the mic. Keep going, though. Dropping the mic.
Because somehow it looks suspicious speaking is an accent. So I will defend these rights for the all people and all immigrants who came to this country to have these freedoms. That is what differentiates us against everyone else. That's why people are willing to come to this country, even illegally to cross the border, because they want to have freedoms, not oppression and suppression. And I really value this right, and I hope my other side will start thinking about it. We're playing politics with people's lives. There are some things that needs to happen. We need to educate our children. In our country, we need to understand that it is a weapon. You have to have respect. You have to have safety. You need to do that. You know, we have to expose our children to this.
You can hear the passion in her voice. Oh, my goodness. You can hear the passion in her voice. You can hear the disgust that she has with the Democrats, with the Democrats. You can hear it. And I know people saying, Will, stop stopping it. I hear you. I hear you.
But we cannot take rights from law-abiding citizens, and we cannot have these academic debates. It's a real life and death situation. We have to look what's happening in other countries. You know, and I think we need to make sure that we care about what has made our country the greatest in the world. And I have disappointed Mr. Chip Roy, but I would not support this amendment for that reason, because this bill, it is infringement on the rights of me as a law-abiding citizen. And it will never stop any bandits, unfortunately, but we do need to have tools to stop that. And I'm going to yield to Mr. Chip Roy.
Drop the mic. She just dropped the mic. Can y'all imagine? Imagine she migrated here from another country, became an American citizen. And she loves this country, and she loves the freedoms, and she's spot on. That's the reason why so many people want to migrate to the United States of America, because of the freedoms that we have and the privileges that we have. And the Democrats want to take it all away. They don't want you to have any of it. They want to make sure that you live under the same regime that the other people in China live under. That's what they're looking for. They don't want you to have your freedoms, and they have admitted it. Now let's say, yes, we're going to want to take all of them. Dianne Feinstein, which I haven't seen anything of Dianne Feinstein lately. It's like she's been completely silenced, right? What's going on there? She was the first one to come out and say, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. And everyone said, what? Are you crazy? Let's see, that's just it. The American people are not going to turn them in. I don't care what they do. The American people are not going to, because the American people are going to still adhere to the U.S. Constitution, even though the Democrats, they hate the U.S. Constitution, even though they disregard it. But let's just say for grins, let's say the Democrats get people to do it like they did back in the day in other nations. It's more likely not going to happen, but just bear with me. The Democrats, they're going to try to do what they want to do one way or another. And if they don't get what they want, it's going to look just like it is in China. That's what they want. What you're seeing here on the screen, for those of you that are listening, this is images coming out of China, and it's really low resolution, I guess, so they can send it out really quick. But there's what's happening in China, or parts of China, not all of China, but there's one part of China where the banks have shut down. People can't even withdraw any money. People can't buy any food. People are like, they're out in the streets because they don't have no other option. This is exactly the same thing that the Democrats want to have here in America. This is the exact same thing. If Joe Brandon goes out and does the executive order on the stinking deal, he can shut down new drilling. I did it in a report the other night. They can shut down drilling. And if they shut down the drilling, the gas prices are going to go through the roof. The press secretary came out after he said that he was going to do an executive order on it and said that he won't be doing an executive order this week. And then conveniently, something came up with him. Now he's out. And they're even talking about they're asking him, are you cleaning your plate? Are you clearing your plate? And there's a video where they say, yeah, I cleared my plate. Look at this. These are tanks on the streets. This is exactly what the Democrats want to do here. But they know they can't do it. Biden know he can't do it. But this is what they want. And if they have something happen where they have to call martial law, I don't know, I wouldn't put it past them. Would not put it past them, because they've already said they want to take us into this liberal world order. What does this look like to you? What does it look like to you? This is the liberal world order. And the liberal world order not only exists here in the United States of America, they want to do the liberal world order everywhere across the entire planet. That's why it's called the liberal world order. And our southern border is a part of that liberal world order. Just like the southern border, where all the people coming across, and the Biden administration acting like none of it's, like it's not even an issue. Mayorkas said that the border is secure. He literally said that. And he said the border's secure. Like everyone can't believe what they're seeing. Like all of the millions of people that are coming across the border. You can't believe that. Believe what I'm telling you. And some people say, oh yeah, okay, he said the border's secure. Don't worry about it. Don't even pay attention to it. But now you have New York, like I've explained already, and many of you already know, New York and D.C., they're complaining because Arizona and Texas have been sending these illegal immigrants to those states and cities. And now they're upset. They're upset, highly upset. Well, Governor Abbott responded to it. Listen to what he says here.
The people in Washington, D.C. seem to have a different standard. They think that it's okay to have the open border situation as long as it remains in places like Texas. We wanted to make sure that because Joe Biden has never come to the border, we want to take the border to Joe Biden and let them understand what we are having to deal with right here. And they are only dealing with about the number of migrants that we have come across our border per day. And because of that, there will be many more that will be bused to Washington, D.C., and they are going to increasingly have to grapple with the challenges that we face in Texas until we have Washington, D.C. finally step up and do its job and secure the border and enforce the laws passed by the United States Congress.
I think.
Exactly, and that's what needs to happen. That's exactly what needs to happen, right? It needs to continue to happen. They need to keep flooding them. With all of the more people come in there, the more buses they need to send. I don't have any issues paying tax dollars for that. Come on, let it go. Let it go to D.C. Let it go to New York, because they're gonna crush us here, and that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. And y'all remember remember when Ted Cruz, he said something about a certain day. Y'all remember that? And a whole bunch of people say, oh my goodness, Ted Cruz, how dare you side with these Democrats? And it's like he got caught up in the moment. And for those of you that remember me saying this, let me remind you, Ted Cruz, he did a big gaffe. He went on Tucker and then tried to talk it down, and Tucker didn't let up on him. Tucker said, no, you said it, and you meant to say it. And I said, you know what, this is going to work to our advantage. I said it's going to work to the advantage of the American people that Ted Cruz made that gaffe, because he's going to come out hitting hard. I told everyone that he was going to. And that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been hitting hard ever since. Now, I think we're all entitled to making mistakes. It wasn't a nice one. We talked bad about him when he did it. Okay. But I told y'all we get to use it. See, I'm telling you, I see the writing on the wall. I knew exactly what was going to happen because I pay attention. Listen to Ted Cruz here, because what he says here in this 10-second clip, this 10-second clip remind me of what the Republican Party is all about. This 10-second clip reminds me exactly what the Republican Party should be, and what they should be saying, and what they should be doing. Listen to this, because he's so spot on, and it's 100% true.
And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are responsible for the worst plague of slavery in America since the Civil War.
Bam! 100%. 100%. Now, are they enslaving people? Absolutely not. But what's happening, he's talking about the southern border. It is absolutely true. So he's a congressman that actually just came out and sit there and said that Joe Brandon and Kamala Harris are doing the biggest slave trade in the history of America. Seriously, they are. Oh my goodness, I can see the trolls right now. How dare you? How dare you? It's always been the Democrats that did slave trading. Always. It's never been the other way around. There's never been a switch. You believe that lie like you believe all the other lies. Listen to what Ted Cruz says here, because it's so spot on. He hit the nail on the head.
The Border Patrol agents told us about something this trip that I had never heard of before. It's something they call a rape tree. That the cartels bring immigrants across the border and they violently rape them here in the United States. And then they hang their underwear on the tree as a trophy and as a taunt to law enforcement that you can't do anything to stop us. We met with landowners who showed us photographs of illegal immigrants they find on their farms and ranches dead over and over and over again, abandoned by these violent criminals. Just weeks ago, 53 illegal immigrants died in a tractor trailer in San Antonio, including a child who was 13 years old.
And Joe Brandon never showed up. Kamala Harris, the border czar, never showed up. AOC, crying at the fence like President Trump did something, never showed up. Remember that. These Democrats that complain about President Trump securing the border and this level of corruption, this level of invasion was not happening on the southern border. But now it is. You have to ask yourself why. Does the World Economic Forum have to do anything with it? Asking the question here. Does the United Nations have anything to do with it? Asking the question here.
Last year, we had over 100,000 overdoses in the United States as fentanyl floods this country, and the Biden body bags keep building up and up and up.
And let me stop it there real quick, too. You remember the story about the two guys that got caught in, I think it was L.A., with 100,000 pills of fentanyl? Do y'all remember that story? Well, the court date came up for these two guys to show up to court because they let them go on a cashless bond. This is wild. They let them go on a cashless bond. The police department didn't even get to talk to him. The DA, no one got to talk to him. They just let him go. The Democrats said, go, 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 go. The court date came up. Where are they? Nowhere to be found. Isn't that surprising? Not.
We've all seen the misery. I have a question for you. Why hasn't Joe Biden gone to the border? Why hasn't Kamala Harris gone to the Rio Grande Valley? Why haven't most of the Democratic senators bothered to go down and see it? And the answer is you cannot see what is happening there and defend it. It is indefensible. The misery, the suffering, the death.
It is. The misery, the suffering, the carnage that's happening down there. And you know the two guys I was talking about, was it a 200 million bond on them? 2 million. I mean, it might as well be 200 million because they're not going to get it. I mean, those guys are probably just gone. $2 million bond when they could have been in jail. Well, it should have remained in jail. But the federal government, maybe, you know what? You know who needs to pay that? You know who needs to pay that bill? You know who needs to pay that $2 million bond for these criminals? Mayorkas. He needs to pay it because he told border security not to arrest people. He needs to pay it. It needs to come out of his pocket. And I'm pretty sure he can afford it. He's been a career criminal, in my opinion.
And the reason Joe Biden doesn't go to the border is when he goes, he knows that it will bring the folks in this room. It'll bring reporters. It'll bring TV cameras. And Joe Biden is counting on the corporate media ignoring the death and suffering and misery.
The death, the suffering, the misery, the carnage. And he's right. And we've said it multiple times. The reason why Kamala Harris don't want to go down there is because you're seeing all of it. You can't ignore it. You have to pay attention to it. You have to say, this is terrible. What are you going to do to fix it? But see, they don't want it fixed. They like it just the way it is. I mean, this is mind-blowing. Come on, really, come on. Reality check here. Reality check. They know it's a problem because they have to be briefed about these issues that's happening on the southern border. They have to. Right? Everyone knows they've been multiple times asked the questions. The press secretary is asking the question. Press secretary supposedly speaking for the man in the White House, right? But then guess what? They do nothing. So there's only two options here. Either they're completely ignorant and stupid, or they want this invasion to take place because they have other agendas. That's the only reason why it's happening. That's the only reason why it's happening. We all know it. It's like almost like an episode of The Simpsons. You know, you see the fish swimming around with one eye, but there's a nuclear plant there, and everyone go, "Oh, that's just normal." No, none of it's normal. It's abnormal. It is abnormal. There's nothing right about this situation. And it's like, is the cloud over these people, the minds, are they really that clouded? And they are, because like I'm constantly saying, I truly believe that we're living in the last days, and these evil people walk among us. These evil people are here, and they don't care, because they're all drunk and they're empowered. They're drunk with it, and they want more and more. It's like they can't get enough of it. And if they can't get what they want, they're willing to tear down the nation. Have y'all seen this? So Jill Biden, she gets out of the vehicle and she's walking, and there's a Good Samaritan, a protester, yelling at her, telling her how he feels about Joe Biden. And all she goes is, "Thank you for your support." Listen to this. It's true. He's the worst he's the worst dude to ever be in the White House. The worst one. And then, I don't know. I've never been there when they say that allegedly she's pumping Biden with drugs, to give him, so he can, talk for at least 15 minutes. They're pumping him with drugs. I'm just kind of curious. What's it going to look like at the next State of the Union? Has anyone thought about that yet? What's it going to look like? I mean, how long is it going to be? Because he's already having so many problems right now. I mean, it's really interesting, right? I mean, come on. After 15 minutes, he got to go. He whisk away, won't even take questions. And he's declining more and more. He made a mishap the other day, and I said it was a gaffe where he's talking about, I, like other people, have cancer. Right? And then the left, they all jumping. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And he clearly did say it. He clearly said it. I believe it was a gaffe. Right? But just like all the other gaffes. And people go, well, he had cancer back in the day. Maybe that's what he was referring to. No, he said, I have it. No, I got it right now. But the Democrats, I always say demons will protect demons. Because they know what he said. They know that something's going on. They know that something is wrong with this dude. But they say that she keeps pumping drugs in him. I don't know. It's allegedly doing it. And then you have the liberal media. When actual stories come up, they completely ignore it. They all try to say it was Russian propaganda about Hunter Biden with the laptop. And come to find out, now that a leftist organization came out and said, yeah, you know what? This Hunter Biden laptop was factual information. It was actually true after the fact, when they suppressed it, when tech companies suspended people accounts for talking about it. And I didn't talk about it at the time because I didn't know anything about it. I know people were posting pictures, and I most definitely were not going to post any of those pictures that with Hunter Biden in them. And people send them, and I'm like, I don't even want to see this crap. But people, they get it and they send it out there, and they even have video where it appears to look like, allegedly, Joe Brandon. There's no way for me to verify it, and I'm not going to try to verify it. I don't even want to see it. Horrifying. But people don't but it can, you know what? Even if it wasn't true, people would take it and run with it because that's who they are. They're really, listen to this about Hunter Biden.
Tax violations, unregistered foreign lobbying, and false statements, just some of the many charges that Hunter Biden could soon be facing. Sources telling Fox News that the federal investigation into the younger Biden and his tax affairs have reached a, quote, critical stage, with officials said to be looking into whether or not the son should be charged with various tax violations, possible foreign lobbying violations, and much more. Hunter Biden, as you know, has been under federal investigation since 2018, that according to a source familiar with the matter. A separate source, by the way, tells Fox tonight that a federal grand jury looking into Hunter's business dealings, Sean, wrapped up its latest term late last month. The investigation being conducted by Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss, a prosecutor appointed by former President Donald Trump. Now, critics point out that another possible nexus of this probe is to what extent did the president have a hand in or knowledge of Hunter's business dealings? Now, he has repeatedly denied any knowledge of Hunter's business dealings. The jury's still out.
Yeah, the jury's still out. I mean, come on. And you know what? I'm willing to bet more than half the people watching my broadcast right now have seen him holding a crack pipe in his mouth. I mean, I don't know anyone that hasn't seen it, except for the leftists that I know. And we all know leftists. I mean, we'd be denying the truth if we say we don't. But we all know a leftist, or we know of a leftist. But everyone has seen him holding the crack pipe, and we've seen it over and over. I mean, it's gone viral especially on Twitter. It's gone viral multiple times, over and over and over again. But for some reason, the liberal media think it's more important to talk about the taking the life of an innocent child, or it's more important to talk about same-sex couples not being able to marry, right? They talk about, or it's more important to talk about contraceptives, right? No, he actually is compromised. He's compromised. And Biden is trying to prevent anyone looking into him. Now, you know what? Just made me think about something. So if they get a special prosecutor to look into Hunter Biden's dealings in these other nations because of the information that came off his laptop, is Joe Biden going to withhold $1 billion from somebody and say you need to fire him? I'm just asking the question here. See, before it was in Ukraine, he was being investigated, right? Because he was part of Burisma Oil, right? There was an investigation going on there. Biden had him fired. So now there's another investigation going on here. Who are they going to silence this time? I'm just asking the question here because it's like a repeating thing. It's constantly repeating over and over and over again. I'm like, am I the only one that's recognizing this? Did anyone else bring that up? I can't be the only one. I refuse to believe it. I can't be the only one. Right? Maybe I'm the first one to say something. No, that can't be it either, right? Because the Biden crime family, I mean, with China, all of the corruption, right? And that's why do you think people call him China Joe or Beijing Biden? And then come to find out, some of the people that they've been arresting here lately are the people that's been making the connections between China and the Biden administration. And all of a sudden, these people are getting arrested. It's almost like the Biden administration and the Democrats are doing the bidding of China. Doing the bidding of China and arresting anyone who's speaking out against them. Showing information. I mean, this is wild. Total communism. And it's like we just have to watch it unfold. We have to watch it happen. That's why I truly believe that we're living, and not just because of that, but many things. I truly believe that we're living in the last days. I truly believe it. Because these things don't happen just off a whim. They're not pushing this stuff just to be like, oh, well, we ain't got nothing else better to do. They're doing it because they're evil. Just like this episode here. See, in New York, they're complaining because Governor Abbott and the governor of Arizona are sending people to New York and D.C. And what's happening, even before that, this is Portland. This is not even D.C. or New York. But what's happening here in Portland is happening in New York and it's happening in D.C. And these liberal communist Democrat mayors want to prevent more of it because it's making them look bad. And just like Governor Abbott said, they're fine with all of this happening in red states along the border, but they don't want it happening in their liberal utopia cities. Listen to this. This is horrifying. And if the Democrats have it their way, this is coming to you.
For years, these neighbors have been watching the city's homeless crisis spread across parts of southeast Portland. Now it's right outside their front door.
I want to cry. I just want my house back.
Christina Hartnett lives on 80th and Powell, where a majority of the campers stay.
My lawn is now becoming a public bathroom.
She fears leaving her house just to go to work.
And it is scary when you have grown men meth raging in your driveway. The last thing I feel safe doing is going out and saying, hey, can you please move so I can go to work?
Calling the police in city is an everyday chore with little reward.
So far, no one has come to help us.
Central City Concern Clean Start crews assessed this site Thursday. It was one of about 1,900 other campsites reported just this week. In the past 10 days, they found 272 encampments that pose a greater health and safety risk, which is why they haven't removed the camps in this neighborhood. But just getting the city to come out and assess it has been a full-time job.
I have to report from like four different bureaus, and then I have to report that report to a report, and then I have to report that report to a second report, and it's the only way to get any kind of traction.
That's the only way they can get anything done. That's ridiculous. And see, that's exactly what the Democrats are doing with the oil industry, right? They make report after report. You have to put in this policy and fill out this one and fill out this one just to do one thing. See, President Trump was in. He cut out all that red tape, but the Democrats do this to try to make it more difficult for them to bring energy and have us energy independent again, because that's who they are. That's their goal. That's what they want to do. They constantly do this to destroy all of us. It's a sad, sad day. I want to share one more thing with you here. This was on Fox News here, and they're talking about there's a gubernatorial candidate in New York that's running for governor. And he's on stage and he's talking. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen this, and I just want to share it with those of you that haven't seen it. He's on stage talking, and you get a liberal Democrat, probably a Bernie bro, more than likely a Bernie bro, go up on the stage and has on one of those cloth. It has a cloth like a brass knuckle. They call them brass knuckle, but it's black, but it had two spikes on it. He could have poked him in the throat or anything. Check this out. It's horrifying, but they don't. Nothing bloody happens. They actually stop the guy. Okay, but this is the thing. The left, they come out and say, "Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. It's terrible." And you know what? In the back of their mind, they're probably like, "Oh, he should have. Why didn't he follow through?"
Because the law allows for him to be back on the street. And the amazing part of this is good old Governor Hochul, the accidental governor who got there because the guy before was corrupt, the Democrat governor, that is. She says that, her heart goes out to Zeldin or whatever she said. Again, I'm really tired of complaining about her. She talks the talk, she doesn't walk the walk. If she had any concern about crime victims, like Lee Zeldin could have been, it was an attempted assault in the second degree. You got brass knuckles with two edges on the brass knuckles. It could have killed him. It didn't kill him. They grabbed him ahead of time. But he should have been incarcerated, and there should have been a 730, as we call it in New York, to see if he's a danger to himself.
Now, listen, I have to stop it there. Listen how this guy gets out. The same way the thugs in California got out.
Others, that wasn't happening. And in the end, this guy is back out on the streets. He probably got his brass knuckles back, too. And he's free to do it again. And Hochul gets out there and says, we feel bad about this. You're full of it, Hochul. You're a hypocrite because you will not allow for the legislature to get a bill and put it on your desk to change cashless bail so we can make an assessment of bail, which is in the Constitution. We didn't make this stuff up. So that we can incarcerate those people who deserve to be incarcerated until we know who they are.
You know what? again, you know what? I'm gonna admit something. I do it all the time. I didn't know that. I may have heard it in the past, but it didn't register with me until now. We're really starting to talk about all this cashless bail, right? And she just mentioned, she's the judge. She should know. It's in the Constitution. She just mentioned that it's in the Constitution. And what was really amazing is, just like I constantly say, the Democrats, they don't care about the Constitution. Here's another example of it that I get to drill in and allow people to know from here on out that they don't care about the Constitution. There's multiple things that they don't care about the Constitution, and they constantly do this to undermine the Constitution. And you know what? When they're doing it to the Constitution, you know who they're doing it to? They're doing it to you and I, the American people. Those of us who are law-abiding citizens. Those of us who like our freedoms, who love our freedoms, our God-given rights. The Democrats, the left, they hate it. They hate every bit of it. Hands down. They don't like it because we have our freedoms. So I was telling people earlier about the story that I had with the doctor. And you know, it's not the only thing. It's just there's jobs that people can do, and it's like people don't want to work. People don't want to work. And I'll be lying to you. Sometimes I'm like, man, am I going to do it tonight? Am I going to do it tonight? Am I going to do the stuff I need to do throughout the day? And I was like, what's going on? You know? But people don't want to work. People don't want to work. For example, if I can put it out there, my producer might not like me for this after I say it. On my website, there's things that you can do to make some extra income. And it's on my website. And then I talk to some people and they're like, well, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because it's like some people don't want to. I get it. There's some people that, that are like on fixed income and they can't do certain things. And I get that. And I'm not talking about that. But there's just some people that just don't want to do it because they have other, they don't want to. I don't understand it anymore. You know what? The United States of America, we were marveled by the rest of the world because of the way our work ethics were. Right? The way we wanted to innovate, the way we wanted to build, the way we wanted to, shine towards the rest of the world, our economic system, the way we ran things. All of that made us different. And of course, because the left of who they are, they hate America. And President Trump was like, America first, and the Democrats are America last, America last. They hate America first with a passion. You all know it. You've heard me say it multiple times. You don't even need me to say it. I'm just repeating it. All right, let me say thank you to a couple people here, if I can. Can we do that? All right. JDWC003, thank you so much, sir, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then Minnie, is that right? Minnie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the stars. Loretta, thank you for the stars. Then Hozak, thank you for the Venmo. Wow, thank you so much. And then Victoria, thank you for the Cash App. And if you're wondering about what I was saying about if y'all want to make like some extra income, go to my website and click on the hamburger stack and just click on Patriot Switch. Just click on that and you'll get a video. You get some information about it. It's if you're interested in making some extra money. And I mean, it's not like it's not manual labor. Laura, thank you so much for the stars. Thank you so much for the stars, Laura. Michelle, thank you for the stars as well. Sarah, thank you for the stars. And Kathy, thank you for the stars. Janice, thank you for the stars. Amy, thank you for the stars. Wow, thank you so much. Lisa, thank you so much. And then Shelly, thank you as well for the stars. Janet, thank you for the stars. Dodge, thank you for the stars. And then Chuck, Thank you, Sir Chuck. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Hey, please, if anything else, if you can do anything, please hit the love button, hit the like button, smash it on YouTube, smash the like button on YouTube, and please go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Support me there. Pick up one of the t-shirts. That helps me out as well, right? Support me as much as you can. If nothing else, just share the video. Can you share the video? That helps out a lot too. It really does. It helps me keep going. If you like the content, you like what I'm doing, that's how you can help, just by sharing the video. God bless everybody. Have a good evening.